Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something absolutely crucial, Amy Morin's incredibly powerful framework on building serious emotional resilience. If you want to truly build your mental muscle and fortify your mindset against life's inevitable curveballs, well, you're in the right place. We're going to unpack this together by breaking down the core concepts from her book, 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do.
So tell me if this sounds familiar. Have you ever felt like you're putting in all the hard work to build good routines? You're trying your absolute best to stay positive and hit your goals, yet you just can't seem to move forward. It's incredibly frustrating, right? We spend so much time obsessing over new success strategies, what new habit we should start or what 5 a.m. morning routine we absolutely need to adopt. But Amy Morin, who is a psychotherapist and actually discovered these truths through her own profound personal tragedies, poses a totally different question. What if the real secret isn't what you need to start doing, but what you need to stop doing?
Think about it like this. You literally cannot out-train a terrible diet. If you're hitting the gym every single day to build physical strength, but then you go home and eat junk food all night, your hard work simply isn't going to show. And it's the exact same with our minds. Layering on good habits just won't work if you don't eliminate the bad mental habits that are actively destroying your progress. Building mental muscle requires us to pinpoint and completely cut out the toxic mental junk food that's holding us back.
Okay, let's organize these 13 concepts into a quick 5-part blueprint for today. 1. Absolute ownership. 2. Change and risk. 3. Relationships and self-worth. 4. Reframing failure and time. And 5. Your new mental diet.
Starting right off with Section 1, Absolute Ownership, which is all about reclaiming your personal power.
To build that mental muscle, you have to cut out the junk food of self-pity, blaming others for your bad moods, and walking around with an entitlement mindset. Let's look at that first one, self-pity. It is one of the most subtle yet dangerous traps we can fall into. It drains a massive amount of emotional energy, but it produces absolutely zero positive results. Then there's giving away your power. Every single time you say something like, "Oh, my boss makes me so mad," you are literally handing the steering wheel of your emotional state over to someone else. You're just giving them your power. And finally, entitlement. Look, the universe doesn't owe anyone a smooth path, and expecting it to reward you simply for existing, that's a one-way ticket to bitterness and disappointment.
Notice the specific mindset shift required here, to stop being a passive victim. Mentally strong people definitely acknowledge their pain. They're not robots. But they absolutely refuse to throw themselves a pity party. By simply asking, "What am I going to do about it now?" you instantly reclaim your personal power. You transition right out of helplessness and step into a state of action and gratitude. Moving right along to Section 2, Change and Risk, and how we navigate the unknown.
So avoiding change is a massive roadblock. As human beings, we are hardwired to seek safety, so we often just stick to toxic routines or dead-end jobs purely because they're familiar. But staying in your comfort zone, that guarantees stagnation. And trying to control the uncontrollable, like traffic, the economy, or what other people are doing, that leaves you with zero mental energy for the things you actually can influence, like your own attitude and your own effort. Mentally strong people absolutely refuse to waste their vital energy avoiding evolution or, agonizing over the weather. They focus strictly on their own circle of control.
Now, there is a huge difference between jumping in blindly and stepping into uncertainty with a deliberate plan. Risk naturally makes people nervous, often freezing them up with this worst-case scenario thinking. But mentally strong people don't avoid risk altogether. They take calculated risks. They weigh the pros and cons. They actually ask themselves how they'd handle the absolute worst outcome, and then they take deliberate action, knowing full well that meaningful achievement always requires stepping into the unknown.
Section 3 on our agenda is relationships and self-worth, focusing on fostering a healthy internal life.
You are actively draining your emotional energy if you're constantly seeking validation, viewing another person's success as your own personal loss, or packing your schedule just to avoid your own thoughts. Trying to please everyone is exhausting, and frankly, it's impossible. When you prioritize everyone else's feelings over your own values, you essentially lose your identity. Mentally strong people accept that someone, somewhere, is always going to disagree with them, and they are completely comfortable standing up for their values anyway. The crucial takeaway here is that envy traps you in a scarcity mindset. When you're scrolling through social media and you feel that sudden surge of resentment over someone else's highlight reel, you're literally only hurting yourself. Mentally strong people realize that another person's achievements do not diminish their own potential in any way. Celebrating others frees you up to focus on your own journey. It allows you to actually be inspired by successful people rather than feeling threatened by them.
Be honest, have you ever instantly turned on background noise like a TV or music just to avoid the quiet? Constantly fearing solitude actually points to a discomfort with oneself. Mentally strong people view sitting in silence not as being lonely, but as a crucial, non-negotiable opportunity to recharge their mental batteries, regulate their emotions, and build deep self-awareness.
Which brings us to Section 4, Reframing Failure and Time. This is all about how we process our setbacks and our progress.
Quitting at the very first sign of trouble, demanding instant gratification, and refusing to analyze what went wrong with past mistakes, these will absolutely guarantee that you stay stuck. Dwelling on the past prevents you from taking action right now in the present. And if you don't reflect on those past actions, you're just going to make the exact same mistakes repeatedly. Plus, failure is rarely the end of the road. It's a necessary milestone. Mentally strong people treat failure as data. It's feedback that guides their next move, rather than some definitive sign that they just lack talent.
I absolutely love this framework. It teaches us to extract the valuable lessons from yesterday without letting nostalgia or regret trap us there. You can't change what happened yesterday, no matter how much time you spend agonizing over it. Use the past to inform your future, for sure. But bring your full focus back to the present moment, because that is literally the only place where real progress happens.
Let's look at how this builds over time. We live in an age of instant gratification, right? Fast food, fast internet, instant solutions to everything. But true transformation? That's a marathon, not a sprint. If you expect immediate results from your new mental habits, you are going to quickly become discouraged and just abandon your efforts. Mentally strong people rely on daily consistency. They trust that relentless effort over time will produce compounding, lasting results.
Finally, Section 5, Your New Mental Diet. Let's bring this all together into an actionable plan. Building emotional resilience is a lifelong journey of systematically cutting out the mental junk food so your hard work can finally actually shine through. It's all about making daily choices. First, you have to honestly identify the bad habits holding you back. Is it self-pity, people-pleasing, maybe fearing risk? Second, you actively, systematically cut them from your diet. And by doing this, step 3 naturally falls into place. You free up an immense amount of vital energy that can now be directed toward reaching your true potential.
So I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought to challenge yourself right now. What is one specific thing you can stop doing today to start building your mental muscle? Look inward, pick just one piece of mental junk food and drop it. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer on 13 things mentally strong people don't do. Stay focused, keep building that resilience, and I'll see you in the next one.